This might be one of the first signs that we see with dementia, and that is home safety. And that is because the usual steps that the person would normally take around the home to keep safe, such as, monitoring the oven, the pan boiling over, locking your doors, turning your taps off, all that sort of stuff that would become automatic. The person might not be able to, if they walk away from that, find their way back. So what we normally find is that somebody might put a pan on, and when you have a healthy brain, you would remember that you've got the pan on, and you go back to the kitchen and you turn it off. Whereas with the dementia, you struggle with that backwards and forwards bit. So the person might walk out of the room and then just keep going and never work their way back to the pan. This is one of the first signs that we might see with dementia, that there are risks being taken in the home. And people panic about that quite a lot because they think, oh no, this is all going to go badly wrong. But we do know now that there's loads of steps that we can take to keep people in their home for longer. We know that fire and rescue can come in and intervene and to put smoke alarms in, and we can adapt the way that the kitchen is run, so we can go back more to how a kitchen used to be and how they're more familiar with that. By putting the kettle on the stove rather than plugging it in. We might need to take things like the microwave out and just make things a lot more simplistic. We also have a lot of GPS systems now, being able to monitor people in their homes a little bit more, so we can tell now from afar, from remote, if the door's open and has been left open. We can actually manage to shut the door. We've got the ability to see people in their own homes so that we can see kind of how they're getting on, so that we're keeping them with a level of independence and autonomy, but we're keeping them safe from the sidelines. In residential care, in dementia care, in nursing care, that safety aspect should be taken care for you by the staff in there. And obviously there are layers in place in there to keep people safe, to minimise the risk of falls, to make sure that people can't get out of the building so easy. We need to obviously monitor being too overly risk averse when we're actually in care as well, because what we really need to do is, in a safe environment, to be able to give the person as much independence and autonomy as we possibly can. And that's why really good care homes will have spaces where residents can actually go in there and do stuff for themselves. During our lives, we don't normally just want people to do stuff for us all of the time. And when we move into care, there will still be a level of, I want to do things for myself. So if we can kind of introduce that into care homes, if we can have spaces where, we can still do our own washing up, where we can do our own clothes, our own laundry, if we can make ourselves a cup of tea, if we can make ourselves a sandwich, if we can get out into the garden and have a little bit of a walk around when we want to, all of that, but having safety around the whole side issue of it, that to me is a really good care home.